be honest, I wasn't going to release this video as, after all, it just documents a trip from Conwy to Caernarfon and back, which we've videoed in the past. However, it turned out to be quite an eventful journey for one reason or another, so I was persuaded to publish it anyway and let you see it, warts and all. Well, it's Tuesday the 15th of September. We've left Conwy at about 10:05 this morning, and we've just caught some breeze about halfway across Conwy Bay, so we're under full sail and zooming along at just about 3 knots. But hey, it's a beautiful day, so let's go with it. Well, this is a different sort of morning. It's 9:15 now on Wednesday morning, and we've woken up to quite a thick covering of fog. Can't really see the Menai Bridge ahead of us yet, and we're almost adjacent with Menai Pier, so a little bit different. See Nelson. It's 1:30 on Wednesday afternoon, and it's a lovely sunny afternoon here in Caernarfon in Victoria Dock, but it's a different scene to first thing this morning when we left Menai Bridge to come through the Swellies. Yeah, we're going to relax this afternoon and maybe clean the boat up a bit, because we don't usually have the luxury of being in a marina. So we'll make use of the water supply and clean the decks and have a scrub around and go for a meal tonight. So that's about it.
We spent 2 wonderful days in the hot September sunshine in Caernarfon. In fact, it was so hot that we had to erect the cockpit enclosure just to keep the sun off us, to give us some shade during the day. We had a lovely Italian meal in one of our favourite restaurants in Caernarfon, the Villa Marina, and the rest of the time we just chilled out and relaxed. When we left Caernarfon on the Friday morning, the conditions were quite benign, but the wind was from the east, and we know from the forecast that it was going to be blowing at least force 5. This became more apparent as we approached the Britannia Bridge, and although the water was flat calm, the wind was quite strong blowing across the surface. When we exited the Swellies, we couldn't believe the situation that was in front of us. The wind was funneling down the strait at around about 25 knots, and the wind against tide was causing really steep waves, which caused us a huge problem. It was very, very difficult to make any progress against the oncoming wind and waves, and our only option really was to go into the moorings and pick one up as soon as we could. We had huge trouble initially as we got our boat hook tangled in one of the lines, and we actually lost the boat hook overboard. Thankfully we had 2, and we very carefully picked up a mooring using our spare boat hook. The easterly wind made conditions on the mooring very lumpy, but unfortunately the wind just seemed to carry on rising. Not a single boat travelled north during Friday or Saturday, and just 1 or 2 travelled south with the wind towards the Menai Bridge.
Well, it's been a funny old day. We left Caernarfon this morning. It was like a big pond. By the time we got through the Swellies, it was a maelstrom. Late afternoon now, we've got to roughly low water and then discovered that the mooring we were on was too low. We only had less than a metre underneath the keel and it was still going down, so we unfortunately had to the boat. Probably hear the wind in the background, see the waves coming down the Strait in. It wasn't an easy operation, but we managed it, and we got onto a more familiar mooring which we've been to before. So that's it, we're not going to get home to Conway tonight. It's forecast stronger winds for tomorrow, so we never know when we get home to the So what are you thinking today, Ju?
Rubbish.
Rubbish? Why?
It was awful.
What do you mean?
It was very stressful.
Which bit was stressful? Well, let's just have another cup of tea. We'll be all right. the 20th of September, yes, right on. And it's currently about 10:15 in the morning. So we're heading back to Conway now. I've got the inner forestay rigged up today with the staysail. Probably it's going to be quite breezy going across the bay, so I'm going to give it a go. Let's see what it does.
In fact, we raised the staysail before we got to Puffin Island, as the wind had really picked up by this time, and unfortunately I noticed that I'd made two basic rigging mistakes. I'd actually got the halyard twisted around the inner forestay itself, and I'd also rigged the sheets the wrong side of the shrouds, which was a really bad mistake, as I couldn't set the sail properly. And the wind by this time was howling on the foredeck. I tried to correct it, but unfortunately the only thing I could do was to lower the sail again by hand and lash it down to the deck. However, this was fine because we encountered some really rough water to the east of Puffin Island, and we continued just under mainsail, and I had the backup of the engine on as well until we were clear of Puffin Island, and then just sailed under mainsail back into the Conway River. It was good to be back, albeit 2 days late.